Welcome to the Women in Digital Dentistry Podcast, where we empower through innovation. I'm Allison Lacoussiere, your host, and each week we'll explore the mindset and the skill set of creating a successful practice and life for women in business. From the latest in dental technology to mastering marketing strategies, creating team synergy, cultivating a powerful money mindset, this podcast is your resource to empower yourself and your team to have the most success possible. Whether you're an established business professional or just beginning your journey, we're here to help you unlock your full potential, lead with confidence, and have an incredible journey along the way. Welcome to the Women in Digital Dentistry Podcast. Welcome to Women in Digital Dentistry. I am here today with an incredible woman in dentistry, Dr. Effrat Habsha. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
It is such a pleasure to have you here. You have been somebody in the industry that I've probably known for longer than I've known you as just somebody I've very much looked up to. I'm so inspired by for your ability to just change an industry. So really excited for our conversation today.
Sure. Thanks for having me.
So I want to introduce you formally because you have such an incredible background and you've done so much so far in the world and in dentistry. So Dr. Effie has earned her DDS diploma in prosthodontics and Master of Science degree from the University of Toronto. She is an adjunct assistant professor at the Department of Dentistry, Eastman Institute for Oral Health at the University of Rochester Medical Center. Dr. Habsha has served as an assistant professor at the University of Toronto and currently instructs both at the undergraduate and the graduate level in prosthodontics. She is a resident faculty member at Spear Education and is also the founder of Women in Dentistry. Dr. Habsha maintains a private practice limited to prosthodontics in Toronto and lectures nationally and internationally on various prosthodontic and surgical topics. So welcome to the show. Effie, it's just such a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
So I would just love to hear the story of how you started Women in Dentistry. Like what was the passion? What was the idea behind it? It's such an incredible organization today, and just share a little bit more about it.
Yeah, so we started it 15 years ago, and it was just a very organic growth to the organization. Initially, it was really a way for me to connect with my female referrals in the local Toronto area. I found that, I was one of the first female prosthodontists in the city, and so I thought, well, it would be nice to get together with other my female referrals, and then that just snowballed into an event that's now, 2-day symposium in Toronto. In partnership with Spear Education in Scottsdale, where we've built this community of essentially like-minded women that are in the dental field, whether you're a hygienist, a dentist, a specialist, dental students, where we learn we connect to educate, elevate, and empower each other. It's a PACE AGD accredited group that offers CE as, the main, it's a CE provider. But more than that, it's a community that we've built, and we touch on topics that relate to both the clinical side of dentistry, including digital dentistry, as well as, of course, the non-clinical, which is what the differentiator is in this group. So we're really proud of the community that we've built, and it's just been a very natural, organic growth that I think has given back a lot to dental students, dentists, and, really all women in the field for sure.
Oh my gosh, 100%. And when you started it, like, did you expect it to grow to what it is today? Was that like an intention?
No, not at all. It was literally an evening that I put together in our office. We had at the time maybe 30 or 40 women, and I gave a lecture, but really the focus was certainly not the lectures on tooth wear at the time, but what naturally evolved was a conversation that all the women in the room had, and conversations varied from, very little to do with dentistry, but more so to do with, having a family and, taking mat leave and just the stuff that women may deal with that men don't necessarily deal with. And just beyond that, just um, a really nice social gathering where, you can talk business and talk shop and with like-minded people. So that was really my intention initially. There was no intention to grow it, but as I said, it was an organic growth where, the next day we got requests to, like, we really enjoyed that. Can you do it again? And so I'm like, okay. So it was an annual thing for a bunch of years until it really exploded back in 2018 or so, where we kind of branched out to website, digital platform, Instagram, that kind of thing. It sort of led itself. And as a matter of fact, it was kind of done with a little bit of, trepidation initially, because I didn't want to, we were one of the first, if not the first women's group, and really didn't want to make any waves and
Hmm.
kind of like, you know, we got a lot of snide remarks in the beginning, like women in dentistry. So it was kind of, it just took on a life of its own, and that's how it's grown. So I'm really proud of of the community and of the women that are involved with it. It's been really a lot of fun for me.
I love that. I think it speaks to it's a testament of what was needed and what is needed in dentistry. Like at the time when people are like, oh my gosh, like this felt so good and this is so needed. It's
Yeah,
a testament to, women really do need their own community and their own social circle to look through the lens of what it means to be a clinician, a woman in dentistry, hygienist assistant, office manager from a
absolutely.
female perspective. So
And it doesn't mean that we don't have male mentors. Of course, like all of my mentors have been male, and that's just
yeah,
exactly the point. There haven't been women in positions, in leadership positions, etc., in the past, and we're really changing that, and we're seeing a lot more of that in leadership positions, in academic positions, where eventually, I think women in dentistry will be a thing of the past, because there won't need to be a distinction, or it just be kind of innate mentorship,
yes.
and all that will be part of the ecosystem. But for now, there's still that disparity, and we do serve a really good need in the community, in the both locally and internationally. So
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one of my favorite quotes that I think your organization and certainly women in digital dentistry really stand for is we need to see women in these positions so that we can see what's possible for
Mhm.
us, like for any younger doctors coming in and wondering like, can I do this?
Yeah,
Certainly from you being a specialist, there at one point there were not a lot of female specialists. And I mean, still today on stages, we still don't see a lot of female
yeah,
specialists. So it's pretty incredible for women to be able to learn from you, to watch
yeah.
you run these organizations and be inspired by that.
Well, it's funny, just I don't want to, talk only about this, but I have a daughter, she's in medical school, and she's aspiring to become a plastic surgeon. And one of the things that she struggles with, and she says to me, she's like, I don't know, like, can I have kids, and can I do this, and
Yeah.
can I do that? I said, well, look at your mentors, look at the women ahead of you, the women that you've shadowed, the plastic surgeons. Said you can have it all, just maybe not all at the same time. So you can have a family, you can set your goals, and have a pathway that suits you, and you'll forge your own pathway. But look at the women that are ahead of you, and so they're probably of my vintage, and so they're doing the same thing for these younger women, aspiring plastic surgeons, and women in the medical field. So I think that there's definitely a need, and I can see it firsthand, because I have myself as the mentor, and I see my daughter, who's kind of at that early 20s stage, looking to her future, and then getting that inspiration from various mentors, female mentors that she has in the medical field. So that's what keeps me going, to be honest, because at one point I said to my daughter, her name is Eden, I'm like, this is too much work. I just
Yeah.
can't do it. She's like, what are you talking about? You need to keep this up, because the student that people need a group like yours. So just keep it up. So I'm like, okay, we'll do it. So that's kind of the personal connection that I have to the
I
organization.
love that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. She's lucky to have you as a mom. I'm sure she's so inspired by you.
Yeah, I think so. It's pretty cool. It's pretty good.
If you could wave a magic wand and have women in dentistry be exactly what you wanted it to be in 5, 10, 15 years from now, I'll make this a little easier. 15 years from now,
Oh my
um,
goodness.
what would you love to see happen with that organization?
I'd like to see it kind of interspersed all over, like to have, similar communities in other parts of, Canada and the US. And we've already branched off into essentially like little chapters. And the way I see it is like the study club model, whether it's like Spear or Seattle Study Club, to have, something that works. We've built something over the last 15 years that works, and to kind of emulate that, so that you can have that local connection, anywhere in Canada and the US. So that's something that we're working on. But again, it's one of the hats that I wear. Being on women in digital dentistry, digital dentistry, like I'm actually a very busy clinician. So the women in dentistry part of what I do is a small part, but um, I'd like to kind of see the work that I've put in here extrapolated in other areas and just kind of rinse and repeat so that other people can have that local experience. It's been so wonderful for me and our local community here.
Yeah, that makes total sense. I've just continued with like my research and with what I'm learning about just humans in general, how important a community is of like-minded individuals. Like it is absolutely critical. And I think people are okay to travel and they're happy to travel, but it's also really nice when you have somebody
Yeah.
in your region where you can just call them up and go and see them. So I love that.
Yeah, totally. And not everything has to be a huge event, like just a local gathering of women. I think that that's just to me, that would be really heartwarming. And where we have had these satellite kind of offices in Montreal and some project, places in the US, it's been a really positive, similar experience to what we're experiencing here in Toronto. So it's
Mhm.
good. Yeah.
Absolutely. I would just like to also just share kind of a story on when you and I first met. I had just been asked by Align Technology to create Women in Digital Dentistry, and we were co-creating this kind of specific digital aspect of women in dentistry. Um, and I reached out to you and we connected, and you were like, how do we collaborate? Like, how do we work together? I don't see like any competition. I just see, us figuring out a way to support each other and work together. And to me, that was just such a big moment.
Oh,
Um, Kind of speaking to who you are and your organization. And, sometimes in dentistry, I think in all industries, there's this kind of like discussion around competition with women. And, there's this story that women used to be or can be competitive because there is only one seat at the table for us. And the idea is that, like, okay, that's not true. We actually just pull more chairs up. And so I felt like you did such a beautiful example of just pulling up a chair and saying, hey, like, how can I support you? We've been around for 15 years. How do we work
yeah.
together? And that's how, I'm coming to speak at your big event in Toronto next year. I'm so excited for that, and how you're going to be coming to our event to share more about women in dentistry, because I think all women in digital dentistry should be in women in dentistry too. And so
Yeah.
share with me a little bit on what you've seen with how women have come together and collaborated, and just maybe even like your own mindset, because you have a really powerful mindset around that.
Yeah, it's a very good question. Or it's a very good point you raise. And I'll have to say that while I've had a wonderful experience with a lot of women, and thank you very much for your kind words, Allison, just that means a lot to me, because I do feel that sometimes there's a lot of chatter about women supporting women and we raise each other and blah, blah, blah. But sometimes it doesn't actually work out that way. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot of talk and no action. And I've witnessed that firsthand where front facing, it's kind of like, yeah, rah, rah, we're supporting each other, but behind the scenes, there isn't that support. And so that to me, I actually met a really amazing woman when I was in Scottsdale. She's a craniofacial orthodontist. Her name is Catherine Preston, I believe, and forgive me if I don't have the right name. And I've invited her to speak at the symposium because her talk is on, it's a really clever title, but kind of like mean girl dentistry and how to
Mm-hmm.
like let's be honest about it. Sometimes there isn't that elevation. So
Yeah.
how do we identify it and how do we fix it? How do we change it? And let's have an honest conversation around that. So I
Mhm.
haven't broached that because I think it's a little bit of a touchy subject and no one wants to kind of, and I'm sure you may have experienced that yourself. And we're not going to get into any specifics where there is that competition. There is that, uh, kind of only one seat at the table.
Yes.
Okay, I've arrived. I don't need anyone else to arrive. You know what I mean? So I'm hoping that with, having an open and candid conversation about it, and like I said, Catherine was amazing to talk to. Just the couple hours that I spent with her when I was in Scottsdale prompted me to invite her to speak. And I think it's going to be, and you'll be there, so you'll
Yeah.
you'll hear what she has to say. I think it's going to be a really interesting talk. So I've had a lot of incredible women, and
Mhm.
I'm sure you have too. And my advisory board and all the women that I work with have really been amazing. But I have witnessed the dark side of it, the other side where it's, not so kind of roses and butterflies. So
Yeah.
I think we need to crack open that conversation and to really address it and fix it.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think sometimes we can, because it's an uncomfortable topic,
Mhm.
we don't want to talk about it, but I think everyone has experienced both sides of
Yeah.
it in some degree. And I would say
The
just
old thing, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but the old, like, a man will say it to your face, a woman will kind of do it politely and stab you in the back or be behind the scenes. So
yeah.
again, it's not the majority of the experience, but I think that it is
Mhm.
something that there is that undercurrent. I think it would be interesting to talk about it. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
totally agree. And also just have tools of like how to
yeah,
handle something like that, or even like personal accountability of like, how do we really show up and support
yeah.
each other? Like, what does that mean to support women in dentistry? And how do we show up better for each other every single day? So I'm really excited for that. I think it's gonna be awesome.
I'm really excited for her talk because I said to her, she was like, she explained her own had her own personal story, and my jaw kind of dropped. I'm like, okay, well, this is such bad news. Like, do you have solutions? Because I can't have you go up on stage and
Yeah.
like and just shut everyone down and go, she's like, no, no, there's definitely like research and solutions,
Yeah.
steps that you could do. So I'm really
Everyone's just like
talking
looking at
about
each other, like, I
exactly.
don't know.
Are you stabbing me in the back? Yeah. So it's cool. And I think in general, one has to go with a scare, not having a scarcity mentality. And it's even as one of the biggest lessons I learned from my mentor, Dr. Isaac Barzilay, who I've been working with for, since he was my instructor, and I since graduation, so it's 25 years ago or so from Pros. He has such an abundant personality.
Mhm.
Like, we'll never look at our practice in prosthodontics, and prosthodontics is a very competitive. It's a very, there aren't that many. There are a lot of prosthodontists, but there aren't that many referrals that go out to prosthodontists. So
Yeah.
it can be competitive. And I remember speaking with him very early on, saying like, aren't you worried about competition or this? And he goes, not at all. Like, you do you. We need to be the best that we can be. We need to share with one another, help each other, and just not look at things from a scarcity mentality. And he taught me a lot. Women, not women. It's the same across the
Yeah.
board. I strongly feel that you need to kind of be open, share content, and anyone who will come to me, like, I'll kind of, I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I don't hold back. And whether
Yeah.
it's education or information or women in dentistry, anything. And so I think that has served me well, quite personally.
Yeah.
I do credit my mentor, Dr. Barsley, for being that person and demonstrating that in the way he runs his practice and the philosophy that we have in our practice. So
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I think it's very important as a consultant who
mhm,
I've gone into, I don't know, probably 100 practices, just seeing, what the systems look like, what everything looks like. And there's one thing that I can tell almost immediately to see
mhm,
how healthy the practice is the mindset of the owner if they're in scarcity or abundance mindset.
right.
And of course, there's many reasons to kind of like ebb and flow through that, but adopting that abundance mindset and having that feeling of like we're going to be successful, we're going to do everything we can to do really good work and to serve each other and to serve our patients and our team. Like I don't think you can lose with a mindset like that.
Think so. And so to your point of collaborating with other organizations like
Yeah,
yours, I mean, I think it's a win-win.
yeah,
So yeah.
I
So that's
love it.
a long-winded answer.
I know. I'm so grateful for it. It was something that really struck me about you right off the bat. Okay, this is going to be my final question. So you can take as long as you want to answer this. I There's this quote that's like it really sticks with me when I meet somebody like you. Success leaves clues. You've done so many incredible things in your career already, and I know in some ways you've just started. I take
Mhm,
you as somebody who has really a big vision and will just continue to strive for excellence in everything that you do.
mhm.
And I would love to hear some of your personal success philosophies. Like you just shared one about the abundance mindset, but would love to hear through your journey that has gotten you to where you are today. What have been some of the most important things that you live by, that you believe in, that you stand by, that make you who you are, that have allowed you to be just who you are today?
Yeah, I think it's just staying curious and, never feeling like you've arrived. And again, I'm constantly hustling, whether it's hustling or working or learning or being curious, that keeps me excited about my profession. I love what I do. I think people can sense that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't look at my practice as, I don't see a patient as a dollar sign. Never. I see, how can I help this person? You know, um, just maintaining curiosity in my field, maintaining curiosity and learning new things and going to CE, and never feeling like I know it all because I know so little, and just having that spark, having that interest in learning new things, pushing myself beyond my boundaries, because I'm often even faced now with, being invited to speak at various conferences on topics that I haven't lectured on before, and kind of having to come up with new content, and it's a lot of work. It's like being
Mm-hmm.
back in school. My kids see me do it. I'm like, why do you do it? Like, you don't get paid enough to do that. I'm like, well, because I like living on the edge. I like being a bit anxious. I like learning more. I like kind of, you know, keeping that curiosity. So that's what keeps me going. It's a personality thing. Some people might look at that and criticize and say, well, aren't you happy with what you have? It's not about not being happy with what I have. I'm very happy, but I always want to learn more, and keeping that
Mm-hmm.
curiosity is what keeps me going. And I
Yeah.
don't think I'll ever change that. Like, I had that as a kid, and it's sort of served me throughout my career, and it continues to, and that's what makes, being in the profession so exciting for me. So,
Mm-hmm. That's so beautiful. I love that. If you could give advice to, I think a lot of times when we meet women who are wanting to be on that edge,
mhm,
and push themselves out of the comfort zone and maybe step on stage for the first time, or
mhm.
even get into dental school or work on something on their patients, there's so many opportunities for us to take a chance, to lean in, to try something new. And often there's a voice in our head that's like, can you do it? Is someone going to be better? Like those
Oh my God,
thoughts.
yeah.
What would you say to somebody who is really looking to move past that?
I don't know if I mean, I'll tell you, I still suffer from those same fears.
Mhm.
I've had cases of imposter syndrome, and just really thinking like, am I not good enough? Am I only here because I'm a woman? Like, we all have those voices in our heads, and I think
Yes.
we just need to quiet them. Be prepared. Like, I'm not saying like, yeah, go ahead and place implants or go ahead and do this procedure. You can do it. Get the proper training,
Yeah.
get the proper education,
Yeah.
have the support, like do what you need to do to be at the best, and then understand that everybody has the butterflies when they do something
Yes.
the first time. Everyone has some level of, you know, anxiety, or whatever you want to call it, whether it's going up on stage or, doing the first procedure that you're doing, with a new technology. So understanding that you're not alone, and, pushing yourself out of your comfort zone is not a bad thing to do. So,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah. I love that. Do it anyways. Like have those thoughts, have those voices, and then do it anyway.
do it.
Um,
Exactly.
and you'll overcome it, and what used to feel scary then becomes normal.
Exactly. What used to be, novel becomes uh habit,
Yes.
becomes routine. So,
I love it. Thank you so much for being on here today. I
oh,
know your wisdom, your expertise, just everything you've done in the industry so far is an inspiration to so many people.
kind.
And I'm excited to be a part of Women in Dentistry. I'm excited to be at your conference next April. I would
Yeah,
love for you to share for any of the women in my community that are not familiar with Women in Dentistry, would love to be a part of it, just a little bit more. And then we're going to have the
sure.
link in the show notes for them to go and sign up and be a part of it.
Sure. In a nutshell, Women in Dentistry, womenindentistry.ca is an organization really for all women in the dental field. We offer continuing education. Our big event is, our flagship event is in Toronto in the spring this year. It's going to be April 17th and 18th. We have a day of lectures and an optional day for hands-on programs. So it's very well attended. It's a great event. We've also partnered, as I mentioned earlier, with Spear Education to have our first event down in Scottsdale, Arizona. So for all of my American sisters or people who are in that neighborhood, Scottsdale is just incredible. So again, a lineup of all female speakers related to topics on the clinical and non-clinical part of dentistry. So if you're looking for a community to learn more about, both the things that affect us as women, as well as the clinical aspects, feel free to join our community. Check us out online. We have webinars. We've got lots of stuff that we're constantly growing. And if you want to get involved, we have, our team has grown to 2 administrators and a wonderful group of, volunteer board members that allow us to do it. And of course, we can't do it without our industry support. So Strawman is our Diamond Crown sponsor, Nobel Biocare is, and Ivoclar are gold sponsors, and TD Bank is also Diamond Crown. So, we really appreciate all of our corporate sponsors. Those are just the main sponsors, but we have every event is really supported by industry. And I think that's really important. So we have their support. So yeah, check us out. And we're very excited to have you on our program. I understand you'll be talking about AI in the dental world. So, it's going to be great.
Yeah,
So
it's going to be beautiful. Thank you so much for all of you that are watching. If this episode resonated with you, if you want somebody to watch it, please go ahead and share it, and then go and check out Women in Dentistry. Go sign up for the symposium next April, and we will see you on the next episode of Women in Digital Dentistry.
thanks, Allison.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Women in Digital Dentistry. We hope you found today's discussion inspiring and full of actionable insights to help you thrive in your practice and beyond. If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to subscribe so you never miss an update. And if you know someone who would benefit from these conversations, please share this podcast with them. We would love to hear your thoughts and feedback, so feel free to leave us a review or connect with us on social media. Together, we are building a powerful community of women leading the way in digital dentistry. Until next time, keep innovating, keep growing, and keep making a difference in the world of dentistry. Thanks for listening.